Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. My name is Jim Cagnina, and yes, we are still living in extraordinary times. I hope everybody fastened their seatbelt with last hour or so. Let's take a look at some charts here. E-mini S&P with the biggest daily green candle I can remember ever seeing. I did a little research here, and in October of 2008, we did have 11%, 11.6% move up. Now, but the index was trading at a smaller price, so keep that in mind. So from a point of view, this is probably the largest. We're up 8.54% on the news. I mean, it's a crazy big candle. And just to put it in perspective, let's go ahead and do the math here. I'm going to add my ruler tool here. We're going to go, first of all, let's see what the range is, the daily range. Let's go low to high, 11.93%. Crazy, crazy. Let's go from where we opened. Let's go from where we opened. 9.01%. So, this is clearly, as Anthony and Shai pointed out this morning, a news-driven market. I mean, we've gone from potentially a scenario where we were talking about lock limit down this morning to a retracement past the 38.1% retracement, way past the 8 exponential moving average. We're driving to that 50% level right now, which is 50. I'm going to round it up to 5,500. Intraday charts, I'm going to have to refresh my data here, but I mean, everything is broken. Every single milestone we've achieved, and we've gone through a lot. Where'd my crosshairs go? I lost them. Hang tight, everybody. I'm not going to be able to find them in this mess that I have up here. But to make a long story short, we broke through point of control, forget about it. The JX2 level, JX4 level, daily pivot, JX1, a 1 day max. We have a gamma wall up here. We have R1 up there. We have a blind spot. We have previous sessions highs. And now we're approaching high vol level OTDE. Needless to say, there's not going to be a double break short of the president saying I was just joking. There's not going to be a double break on the initial balance. The initial balance, we have a single break to the upside, and that's all we got. Let's move over to the micro NASI while we're doing the same. This is going to look the same, right? Another huge astronomical candle. We tapped R2 though. And remember, these pivot numbers are really wide apart because yesterday we had a really big range.
R2!
So that's crazy. Uh, and let's keep rolling here. Let's just check out. I want to check out RTY if I can. Let's do that because you know what? This candle also is a spicy meatball.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Sorry, that's the only reason I put the RTY off. But even the RTY is just crushing it. Real quickly here, gold's still up over 100 though. This is kind of the surprise for me. So gold is still up a lot. We have a little bit of a seller's wick on top, but this market's not ready to is not ready to give up. Right, we're above all the moving averages here. It's still kind of a risk-on environment. We're still hundreds of points away from the all-time highs. So keep that in mind. Lastly, but not leastly, before we get to the main event, let's go to the 10-year notes just to see what they're doing. And, interestingly enough, they're really kind of trying to survive this area of support. They're really hanging on. They don't want to break through here. That's 110 in 12, 30 seconds. So this market is kind of structurally looking normal, where some of the other markets aren't quite so normal. All right. Having said all that, folks, let's bring in the main event. We have OrderFlow Labs in the house. Nick for a tick. Stowe, how are you guys doing?
I'm good. Doing good. How are
Surviving,
you?
Jim.
It's good news, man. I mean, I'm going to be taking notes again, guys, today during your presentation. Nick wasn't here last time. I was taking notes when Snow and XYZ were here. So I'm gonna take notes, and we'll do a refresher course at the close.
XY says Leo looks a little different today. It's good to be on with you, Stowe. We haven't had the pleasure of trading together, so this
That's true, man. I'm super excited.
This is going to be a little chaotic, maybe a little fun. I don't know. Your charts are working, mine are having issues, but hopefully we can find something tradable here in this chaotic last, whatever you want to call it, last hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
The pause on tariffs was announced. So how long have you been trading? Like actively trading futures?
4 years, I think.
Okay, so about the same as me. Have you ever seen a day like this? I think the last time Jim was saying something about '08, the last time you saw an up move like this intraday. So we long before my time of active trading. I think I was in college then when that was going on. So yeah, this
No,
absolute
no.
insanity.
I've never seen anything like the last couple weeks, especially today. I mean, but it's been what in the last 2 days we've been in fear of limit down and a limit up in the same day. That was yesterday, I think. Um, Honestly, it's all running together. When I got on the desk to trade this morning, I was like a little deer in headlights, to be honest. I was just like, what am I even looking at? What does any of this stuff mean? Um, so yeah, we just got to take we got to take what the market gives us when it gives it to us. And at the moment, we're having a little bit of a data issue. But the time in sales is always the most accurate thing for me to look at. So I've got that up there, and um, worst case, we can just go off of that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Have you been able to trade today?
I did. What's funny is I have been relatively hands off in my personal account, specifically the last like 3 or 4 sessions, like trading super small, barely doing anything, kind of staying away, not putting a ton of, I guess, real capital at risk. And then today I kind of opened it up a little bit after some conversations with Leo about sizing down to not only micros from my normal size, but even then probably going a good 2 to 3 on NQ, or excuse me, MNQ and MES, and just trying to catch a wider move and widen the stops a little bit. And I actually had a very nice day in my personal account. So finally opened it up a little bit this morning. But I mean, trading this morning felt, I mean, I know the range was still 70 points in ES basically, but it felt tradable. There was some decent opportunities off like the initial balance low, the opening range mid. So you definitely could take some safer trades, even sizing down with micros and feeling pretty good about some tighter entries. So that's kind of what I did. But the last, like I said, hour plus, I mean, I don't know how you trade this unless you caught the long and just are riding it to Valhalla here.
Right. Yeah, I also don't know how you trade this. Um, yeah, I can see our data is still lagging. I got
There's
38 here, and I pulled the DOM up too.
the
Okay.
chat was making comments about my hat. I did in fact wear this today, hoping for a bounce, and boy, did we get that.
Yeah, you
Um,
did.
we, I mean, this, I don't even know if you can call this a bounce. This is I say just send it. If you don't know, there's a hunting brand kind of behind this hat, and I think the bears are dead. I think it was hunting season this afternoon on all the bears, and if there are any left, depending on kind of where we close here, we'll see. I mean, anything can change on a dime in this market, or one tweet, one statement from our lovely administration, but that's that's not a good sign. I mean, I know I talked about this on Monday, nibbling a little bit in my longer term, like, you know, IRA and other stuff. And I had a few. This is also a good sign of, I think we've talked about this behind the scenes too, but it's like when the family members, the friends come out of the woodwork asking if they should be selling, what they should be doing, it's usually probably a good time to be
Ugh.
adding into those long term holdings. So I actually had 2 different friends separately that have no affiliation with one another ask me today if they should start buying in some of their longer term stuff. And I was like, absolutely. I would probably be a buyer around the 500 level on SPY, knowing it's going to be well above that probably in the next few years. So you should. And then
Yeah.
a couple hours later, he texts me like, dang it, I should have bought when you said it. So that's where we are, I think, in this time frame.
That's the interesting thing about Yep, isn't it always like that? They usually never do the thing that they're grilling you about that you give them the
Mm-hmm.
advice to do. I had some friends asking if they should buy gold, and like they're worried about the dollar, and they've never looked at this stuff before. And I'm like, "No, I don't. Do you want to buy gold? Unless you really want to buy gold, I would just not buy it. You're probably going to be okay."
Did you
I
see
didn't
the
know that
new
it would all reverse itself in 30 minutes.
Did you see the new the micro GC?
No,
I think
there's a tinier
Ninja,
one.
yeah, Ninja just posted it yesterday. And I had a good laugh sometimes because I'm trying to get better about even trading micros. But now there is, I guess, a 1/100th of GC. I don't know what the symbol is going to be, but whatever, like 1 ounce or something
Oh,
Gold,
okay, okay.
of a
please.
futures contract. So I think that's interesting. When you have products, I think that have been volatile the way gold has been too. It's just another barrier to entry that you can kind of get yourself into a specific commodity, or maybe the indexes eventually get there too. Who knows? With the way NQ is moving, maybe we need a micro on the micro.
Yeah, right.
Well, I was in trying to get my data to load here. I was in a short up near like 19,009 something. Or sorry, 18,900 and change. And I got stopped out on the new high of the day that we put in about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
But when I have two micros on and those are moving 150 points in a few minutes, I mean, yeah, maybe there's still a way to size down even from that, which is crazy to think about.
it's so crazy. All this is crazy. So all right, I made a new bracket. Let me see. We made an MNQ bracket and we're gonna bring up Super Dom. I only have level 1 on here, but we can at least look while I'm reloading the historical data. We can at least look at the time and sales. And if your eyes are fast enough to see that tape on the NQ Dom, and I know that the previous month low is chilling around 980. So we might have to do some old school tape reading right now. I'm kicking off these highs. I don't know. Let's talk to the chat. Chat, are you okay?
The charts to
Is
load,
everybody
so-
okay?
How's everyone been trading this? Did anyone catch the long? I guess is the elephant in the room type question. Did anyone catch this? Because if you did, congratulations. I would imagine you're never going to catch a 7-8% move again like that in anyone's lifetime. So that's a wild timing of an entry if you did. Did an AJ and just bought it. Caught 2,000 plus
Still-
points.
My
Wow.
Lord, 2,000 points. That's crazy.
I mean, you clearly knew like when that was coming out that there was that news candle. I think we dropped about 150 points on NQ, maybe even more than that. I think we were at
Yeah.
like 5 something and it dropped down into 350, whatever. And it took a good probably 30 seconds for the news to actually come out. And then we were just absolutely off to the races.
Yeah,
So you
this
have to
was
think it was going to be a pause. It was a pause or something with the way we moved up.
a very rangy day.
It was tradable until then.
Yeah. And then there it is. Straight to VWAP and then rocket.
Oh, I have candlesticks loading. See if it wants to play nice.
Yeah, let me know if you get anything good. We will switch over to you because I am recalculating. This is also an interesting single print today. There is a 750 point wide single print that exists now. I don't know if that's a single print record. We could ask the auction market profile people.
I'm going to say, Leo, we need some new stats. I think that might skew the data a little bit. Crudele just said it, but Trump did tweet this morning that it was it's time to buy or it's safe, like don't worry type of thing. So a little bit of showing his hand possibly a little early. Plus, do we go back to Monday and was that fake news them really kind of feeling out? Would the market react extremely positive to any sort of pause?
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
Here we are 2 days later, 10% higher.
So I got 18.5. I'm just trying to find this stuff. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing. I mean, no data provider likes when this happens. They just get pounded. I mean, this is a volatility nightmare for everybody.
Yeah,
So,
I think I've used multiple data providers, different platforms at times, and every single one of them seemed to have a problem with this move.
yep.
Still getting data though, but my God, when that was released, not released, but when that news broke, everything just lagged, panicked. I didn't know if we hit like a V logic thing or whatever, but it was not ideal. Thank God I
No.
wasn't in a trade.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people were in a trade. I imagine a lot of people were in a very short trade, and they're
Well,
having a
because
very rough time right now.
that came out shortly after the 10-year auction that I think the market was somewhat waiting for.
Yeah,
And then a couple minutes later, you have that. So if you were trying to play off of the auction results, you may have found you may have had a very good time or being in a very bad place if you did not have some accurate stop placements.
well, that was it was crazy. I knew that bond auction was happening, and it's like I take the mid afternoon to like get some stuff done,
Same.
fold some laundry, whatever. I'm not normally sitting here, especially if I have to do the show later. I take a little breather, and I've just got the charts on my phone, and I'm like, what could that bond auction have said?
Every alert's
Most
going off.
reactive.
What happened?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was saying it yesterday, like I'm so zoomed out. I have a hard time calculating anything right now. And I mean, these are 100-point increments over here
Mhm.
that we're looking at. So,
Which is crazy. We are falling off the highs a little bit. ES back inside 5,400 down to
okay.
53.75. NQ now back below 18,900, almost to 800. So yeah, we're experiencing a little delay in some of these candles printing, but we are off those highs.
Yeah, I see we're getting back into 18,800. It's about halfway down through that. Yeah, all my VWAP stuff is wrong too. I guess previous day high was the move back here if I would have been paying attention at 130. They just got out and that's been flying up since.
Yeah, ES had a nice bounce again off of that previous day high area,
Okay.
which is
Are they
crazy
are
to
they
think that's
running in
100
sync?
points ago.
Are they all synced up?
My charts.
No, like ES and NQ, I guess is what I meant. I don't have ES up.
They're relatively
Okay.
synced up.
Good to know. Good to know. Man.
Still got. Oh yeah, I guess NQ. Yeah, we guess we did kind of come up to the March lows, wicked above it about 100 points. God, just crazy. Everything is so scrunched on
Yeah.
charts to account for this range right now. It's like it looks like a normal 5-minute chart, but this is each 5-minute candle is like 100 points.
Yep. Same. Maybe yeah, maybe this would do it. Maybe I can take it down. I'll try to go to a different volume size.
I'm still calculating over here.
Okay.
Wonder how accurate. Let's see if my 30-minute chart is working.
Number 8. So we lost the previous month low. That's what your short was working on, right? I think.
Yeah, that my stop was just above because we had wicked above it.
Yeah.
And then we did get a decent move. I think the move went down inside 800 again. And same thing, I couldn't exit my trade. So eventually my stop got triggered when we were
All right.
wick back above it up towards 19,100. So, but that
Let's
did move
let's
almost
do
200
this.
points in my favor, which is unfortunate.
Look at this. Okay. All right. Let's slow down for a second.
We're going to zoom out a little bit.
Let's
Folks.
zoom out a little bit, folks. All right. So this is a high time frame chart. These are 30-minute candles. This is nice and slow and relaxing. We're going to let the other stuff calm down for a second, maybe see if we can get a trade off. So this is a balance area this box here that is it's auto drawn by the OFL tools. We've talked about that a little bit, about letting automatic drawings kind of take over for you, so you're not drawing things discretionarily. Yep, you see we smacked out of that, hit the previous week value area low here, rejected, and then bounced back off of 381 and went up. So, I mean, that's a 30-minute candle time frame there. I'm not sure if that translated into anything tradable in reality, but we can at least see that we've left this previous balance. We left all of this volume down here, and now we are building more volume here. And this red box here is what remains of an overnight gap, I believe. Yeah. So this is the last of the gap to be filled from the original sell-off from 19,110 to 19,318. Okay. And that would get us back to the monthly open. Wild. 1, 2, 4, 5 days.
I mean, we retraced
A year?
all of this in, I mean, not even half, I guess a little less than half, but an absurd amount of this down move in about an hour.
That's wild.
If that. I mean, this was 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even.
And like you said, I can't even find a way to look at it on a normal chart, like on a volume chart that I would be scalping on. Wow. Let me zoom into this profile and see if there's any nodes we should be looking at here. Yeah, so it just looks like it's building up here now, which makes sense. Leave balance, find new balance, build above. So we can play this if we get a chance to get long, but I don't want to get long from 2. I don't know. There's no point to rushing into anything stupid up here.
Don't want to just close your eyes and short the highs?
No. No, I don't. I don't know if I have a rule for this. I can make one, though, called never short a 90-day tariff pause. I don't know.
I mean, holy crap, man. What a reaction. I would have imagined it would have been an absurd bullish move, but this is beyond my wildest dreams as far as the way we just punished anybody who's been short for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, Merritt, yeah, that's great math. Yes. So last year's range was 20,000 ticks, and today is looking at 9,500 ticks. So 9,500 ticks in a day. So we've done half of last year's range, mostly this afternoon.
In 30 minutes. I've lived to see it all since I've been actively trading since basically 2019.
Yep. It doesn't get boring. I mean, it doesn't get boring.
God, I feel like the last, like I said this earlier when we were coming on, like I really have not traded aggressively the last few sessions, but just sitting here watching, being on the show, still engaging a little bit with it here and there. Like,
yeah,
I felt exhausted, I think, mentally last night with just all of this.
Yep. No, I mean, the market will wear you out also quickly. Yeah. That's why it's important to preserve your mental capital. We'll go check back in on this and see where it's at. I screwed up.
It's the same thing where it's like, even if I'm trading micros and I'm getting stopped out of trades in 15 seconds, it's just like, you know what? No, I'm going to wait till things just kind of settle a little bit more before I continue to put, capital at risk. It's just, or just do what I did today, trade MES, I guess, like someone that Leo would make fun of.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with trading MES when it's that's the safest place to trade. It's going to be the thickest book over there.
I mean, but it's still, dude, it's moving like NQ. It's so crazy to watch the DOM.
We got 870s, 880s. I mean, just look, if you can look at the time and sales, you probably can't, but it's probably too small and going too fast. But I mean, it's got to be it's at least a 5-point spread right now. I'm seeing like 900 go off and then 891 right behind it.
Yeah, it's every tick is at least 2.5, 3, and then yeah, it'll jump to 5, 6. There's a 6, 4. Yeah, that's crazy.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Well timed.
Very well timed.
I did hear the Nick soundbite yesterday. That gave me a good laugh. Off to our friends behind the scenes.
So many good memes today. I do feel like I'm taking crazy pills watching this market. That's why you got to be at least a little crazy to attempt to do this, because it's pretty crazy. It's a pretty wild time.
I mean, imagine if you shorted that like wick high yesterday at 18,400 and we're feeling really good about another move down potentially.
Yeah, right.
And then this thing happens today and you're just like, you know what? Why do I ever short this thing?
I can't believe that he said seems like a good day to buy and then did this in the afternoon.
Tweeted it.
That is wild. That is wild behavior.
Barron sitting in the Oval Office on Robinhood, just taking us all to school, clearly.
Do you think Barron's getting good fills? Do you think he has like a back door to Citadel, or
No, he's probably the dark. He is the dark pool.
Yeah. I bet you made big cheese today, Stowe. No, I didn't. I certainly did not. I tried to trade. I did pretty good overnight last night, so I was coming into today pretty soft. And yeah, it just looked like the best way I could describe it is I looked at the screen and it was like I didn't know what anything was, and that's a trading feeling that happens sometimes when I'm super fatigued. And yeah, you're just like, what am I even looking at right now? So I didn't do much. I lost a couple trades in a row, and yeah, and then I had to call it because I was not trading at my best for sure.
XY says Stowe trades 23 hours a day. He cannot stop making money. He makes bread with that one leftover hour when futures are closed. How was the latest sourdough that I did?
Oh, it was good. That was just a regular yeast one. My girls don't like the sourdough starter, but it was really good. The theory of put everything bagel seasoning into the bread for avocado toast, that paid off. That was a really good idea.
I'm very jealous. That sounds amazing.
But yeah, making bread's fun.
You've mastered it at this point, or are we still working out the kinks?
Oh, now I'm doing different proofing temperature experiments. So different proofing times, different proofing temps. Last night I proofed that in the fridge overnight for 18 hours. So just like every dumb hobby that I get into, I just get down this weird experimental rabbit hole of like, well, what if I did this? What if I found a way to make it? I don't know. This weekend, I'm probably going to buy a proofing box to control the humidity. So
there seems to be a common personality trait. I feel like with traders, and I think you just described it with you going full baker basically. So when bakery is my next question, but I feel like we all do that. Something about if you're someone that sits here day after day and stares at these charts, continues to put in hours on screen, doing studies, looking at analytics, data, and still putting time to take trades, like I feel like that also can easily fall into other hobbies where you just kind of throw yourself into it full tilt.
Oh yeah, it's every time. And then, well, my wife specifically said, please don't try to start a bakery, because what I do once I get to a certain point with a hobby, I'm like, can I do this for a job somehow? And then, yeah. So that's what happens with that. She's like, you can just make bread for fun. You don't have to turn it into a weird hustle.
Well, now you're going to become a streamer on the side too. So we're going to get a mixture of a baking channel mixed with trading. The first
That'd
of
be
its
cool.
kind.
A bread influencer, bread influencer.
I'm sure there's a niche somewhere on TikTok or Instagram for that.
It's pretty cool. I wonder if I could get like some yeast sponsorships, something. What is some bread?
Probably flour too.
Flour, yeah.
I don't know who Big Flour is these days, which CPG company makes all the flour for this country, but
It's all
I'm
about
sure
King
there's like
Arthur,
two of
baby.
them.
That's
I
King
am a
Arthur
fan of King
organic.
Arthur. Then you're going to transition into pasta making. We are
You can do
continuing to
anything
move
once you can
lower
make
here.
bread.
We did just break out of this consolidation a little bit, heading
Yeah.
down inside 800s.
I'm watching this previous week value area low, which is around 630. I'm also watching 666, which happens to be the +1 standard deviation. Again, the charts are behind, so I'm just looking at a high
644.
time frame chart and this time in sales to see for clues. I mean, that's a good spot to bounce right there. It's testing all these peaks here at this 750.
I did just get an exhaustion print there at around 730s.
Did you get your charts to calculate?
No, we're still loading.
All right. I know Jim said that CQG was having issues today with data routing. So what's the VWAP on bread futures?
The VWAP?
One standard deviation of proofing would be like the ideal amount of gluten development, I guess. And then anything beyond that, up and down, you're going to be overproofed, you're going to be underproofed. You're not going to have good bread. So you got to stay in that middle.
I think Shab just had the all-time name for this channel. So
what was it? I missed it.
The breadwinner, I think, covers both segments of your content. Like
that's
perfectly.
Pretty good. I need one of those. I don't know. You need like I'm sure they make them because there's like cooking influencers everywhere, right? So there's got to be like a stand that I can point down, and then it's just my hands talking about the bread, right? That's what I would need.
Yeah, we just need to get you like an iPhone mount. You need multi-camera angles, and you can start doing some short-form content on TikTok for Leo to consume.
Yeah, Leo's our big TikTok guy. He does love the TikTok. I bet the kid would be stoked to be on TikTok too.
I'm sure that would get even her just like helping like knead the dough would probably, being involved in it would do very well. So be a lot of fun.
She loves it. She loves making a mess. So, I mean, nothing's messier than flour. It gets everywhere.
We're not there yet. I have the 5-month-old that is blowing bubbles and discovering, new skill sets every single day. So we're about to, we're going to start introducing food soon. So God knows that's just going to get everywhere. Looking forward to it.
What a wild time. Having a kid is so weird. So weird. every like 3 months they do one more thing that's even weirder than before. And you're like, that's gotta be the weirdest thing they're ever going to do. And then it's not.
I had her on my lap the other morning and she was like, I have too many screens going across the setup, but her eyes were just like so big looking around as everything was happening with all these candles. Made me laugh.
That's wonderful. The other day, wait till they start to curse. That's super fun. The funny one from the other day was I told her she couldn't say damn it. Just, that's a bad word. You're not allowed to say that. And she said, well, you say it at the candles sometimes. I'm like, I know. I shouldn't be doing that. That's what the swear jar is for. But she figured out that she figured out what a beaver dam was from school because they were talking about beaver dams. And she's like, no, beaver dam. You can say dam. I'm like, that's a different kind of dam. So she just went around saying beaver dam it. She's like, yeah, I'm allowed. It's
She
Beaver
found a
Dam.
loophole.
She found a loophole.
Future lawyer.
I gotta respect it. I gotta respect the loophole. You know,
I'm gonna give her that one. Be like, that's where you just kind of as a father be like, you know what? She got me. She got me there.
oh, sorry, Mary. I can't say VWAP. That sounds crazy. I think something. It must be we must be able to get it into the zeitgeist where we can just change. We can change a word if we want to, right?
Why not? Yeah, so we did bounce right off that exhaustion. I know I can't show this because everything's still loading, but then we did get a delta flip. Looked like a positive delta flip. The leg to leg also reversed on that low.
Yep.
We are making that steady move back up towards 18,900s. So I'm curious, are we going to close above March low on the NASDAQ, which is 18,975, let's just call it. It's hard for me to eyeball this these days, how scrunched my charts are. But that might be the call to make. We did just make the turn into L period, so let's see if we can make a new high here. Bring the statistic back into play. My charts are still not loaded, unfortunately. Still calculating over here. Even my 30-minute chart's not loading.
Maybe I need to get some stuff I can do to. Where's my instances button? Yeah, we'll cut this down. I don't need the high time frame stuff.
Trying to think if I can just load like a simple 5-minute chart.
Right.
Just has delta map or just something basic. Let me try to do that.
I'll do that too. This market is blowing people's minds. Okay, let's see. Let's see.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna do it. Bringing this up. This is gonna be.
You guys load.
Yeah. Just let me put a couple things on here. Find my order flow stuff. All right. And do 2 bands.
Trump's talking again?
Oh, good.
Yes, he is.
There we go. And get the volume profile up too. Oh, Leo's going to love this. Leo, wait till you see what colors I pick for all this weird stuff I'm doing for this chart I'm making. I have the worst taste in colors. For as good as Leo's is, mine is as bad.
I can only imagine. There are some people's aesthetics though that I can't do. Maybe it would just make my eyes hurt, makes my brain hurt to look at. But there's a lot of color schemes I see on X. I'm just like, absolutely not.
Same, yeah, yep. Width 50%, value area 70. Okay. Right. Standard session. Crap. It's not doing it. All right. There we go. This we can kind of scope out what's happening. I think that's accurate. 840. Let me bring get my time and sales in there.
Did you say
850s,
840 still?
950s. Okay. So this is lining up.
Okay.
So
Good.
we're testing that that area right now, huh? Maybe I'll try to bring this minute down. Something a little more like what I trade. 1 minute's pretty close. Cool. Okay. Trump says a deal will be made with China. Okay.
Send it.
Send it.
Just send it.
Is good news good?
I don't
right
know
now?
anymore. I don't know. I don't know how you can know in this world anymore, because we've had so many situations where it seems like good news is going to be good news and the market reacts poorly to it. And I just I don't know anything.
Cross-savers.
Trade what's in front of you.
Right? Oh.
So
Oh, if my bread's overproof, just add fresh flour. Okay, thank you, AV. I appreciate that.
bread tips with Nick and Stowe. Mostly so. I can cook. I can't really bake. Never been great at it.
Have you ever tried? It's really easy.
I mean, yes, I have tried, and then I make something and it's like, all right, it's okay. And then I go home and my mom bakes something and I'm like, I know nothing, clearly. Like she'll make the exact same thing and it's significantly better than mine.
Why isn't this? Okay. Let's get this back. Okay. MNQ 4 lot. This previous month low is definitely still resistance, which is cruising right here. Yep. Right where these wicks are popping off here.
Come on, chart.
Yeah, I can't take that short though.
I mean, not
a
with
million years.
Trump talking about a deal with China. But you go from that to just doing tit for tat on retaliatory tariffs. So,
right.
If I had to guess, I would say we probably are trying to close above that March low.
Wonder what tomorrow's going to be like. Do you think we're going to get back to normal now? Normal ranges, normal setups?
I mean, the VIX is still over 30. So maybe.
The interesting thing about trading a 60 VIX is 30 VIX feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, please define normal. I know. Yeah.
Feel like I'm trading ES without feel like I'm trading NQ at the same time.
There's definitely a thing that happens with vol crush to like not just volatility, but your soul, I think. Every time you come down off of trading a high vol environment, it really feels like like a sugar crash, and you're just like, oh, everything is slow. I always have to make really big effort to not overtrade that, looking for similar moves. I just get so used to those patterns, and you're like, okay, well, if I'm looking for 100 points in 30 seconds, and then you're getting 100 points in a day, it's hard to shift that mindset.
It is, especially if it happens, if we were to shift back like relatively quickly to like a, 15, 20 point range on ES for the entire session or something. And then I'll be complaining because it'll feel like we're in the dog days of summer in the middle of July. And basically me looking at for part-time work as a lifeguard in the afternoon or something instead of staring at charts. Like I've made that joke before to trading friends when it's been that kind of slow summer doldrums grind up of 10 points in a session. You're like, why am I sitting here? So yeah, part-time lifeguard. We'll see what happens.
Okay. I like that.
Something else to do.
I guess I could find a farmer's market and start slinging bread.
Hey, why not, man?
Why not?
Next thing you know, you're going to be getting some bees or something.
No, I'm not getting
Make
bees.
your own honey.
My sister has tried that several times, and just like a cartoon, a bear comes and steals her bees. It's happened to her 3 times.
Wait, that's a real story.
That's a real story. A bear shows up, steals the bees. That bears love honey. It's true. It's not just a cartoon.
CQG is letting me down right now. Can't get this to load.
No. It's
We're
all right.
good. You got a chart.
Yeah, we got a chart. This is some price action. You can see some support and some resistance. We don't have all the delta clues, but we still have our trusty friend, time and sales, so we can see order flow. Yeah, that exhaustion bubble was the spot down there.
Mm-hmm. ES didn't really print anything down there. Let's see.
I mean, lots of people call this different things, liquidity sweep, anything. But you can look like you see this move. It's so hard to show the velocity of this because these are, I can't say enough. These are 50-point increments over here. So,
this is like a 300-point reversal or, yeah.
Rotation. Yeah.
Rotation. There's the word.
Is this a rotation? I don't know. But this was some stops down here, came down, got them, reclaimed, and now stair steps up. If I have to use a minute chart, I'm using 1 minute. That's just my personal preference because I'm used to the volume candles. This is the closest I can get to it.
Wait. You guys may have just heard it here first. Leo.
Oh, there he goes.
I think I'm going to start trading ES, guys. It's
AJ's
time to go back to my roots.
Happy.
So we've now seen it all. We've seen a 10% move in the day and Mr. NQ himself going back to his roots and is talking about trading ES. So that might be the sign that volatility is officially dead. If Leo's going to start trading the ES, we're going to get back to like a 10-point range real fast.
Yep, that's a good. Maybe he's trying to do the reverse jinx. I don't know if you have those powers, Leo. Those might just be for me. I don't know if you have reverse jinx powers.
That might have done it. The market gods are listening.
Yep. Oh man,
we're going to have a VIX at 8 before we know it. So sell vol, guys.
I wonder if I could get that. Let me just get my anchored view up on here.
We got 10 minutes till M period here. What is everyone's thoughts? Is NQ going to close above the March lows? My guess is yes.
Got a diamond. Let's see.
I'm so used to normal colors, Stowe, seeing the green.
I know, right?
Like
It's
weird.
weird. Does it take you back?
It does. This is when after I had graduated from my paper account on Thinkorswim to understand how a DOM and other things worked, I then traded
Right.
on Ninja, and it was the red and green candles and I guess that's what still most platforms default as, but then quickly learned it's not aesthetically pleasing apparently for my personality, my eyes. So made the switch to red and blue.
That's so funny. It's so funny how some things will snap you right back into the thing, like the order fill, Thinkorswim sound,
Yep.
or the Trade of Eight guide, the order filled. That guy. Yep.
That guy.
um, order filled's the good one. The stop filled, not the
Stop
good one.
filled. Haunts
Stop
my
filled.
dreams. I had to turn that guy off.
Same. Yeah.
Guy's just shaming me for my poor entries.
Very triggering. All right, give me these indicators. Let me fix this up. I don't need all these deviations. Diamond, 2 bands.
All right. Well, the stat is now going to be triggered. That's an L period high in NQ.
Yep. And the stat is back.
So now it would favor obviously us closing not only above
Oh my goodness.
previous month low, but making another high in the last 30 minutes.
Ripping faces.
Was there any new headline on a Trump? Let's see.
He did say, I think Tracy was in here and said they will make a deal with China. Yeah, whatever that means.
Says a deal will be struck with China, and then he says, "I'm using instinct on such decisions. You have to
Nice.
have flexibility."
He trades on vibes too.
I mean, that's the best way to trade. And the vibe after a tariff pause was find a place to get long.
What did the book look like when that happened? Was it like
everything died for me?
Okay,
For a
okay.
good 30 seconds, like nothing loaded.
okay?
And I mean, I cross rhythmic trading view, like everything that I would ever have on the
Yeah.
screen was gone
Oh man.
for a good 30 seconds. That's why I assumed like there was a vlog, like something weird had happened. Margin calls.
Unorthodox day trader says, I'm hoping people stop shorting for the day. That actually never happens. There will always be someone trying to short the day. That's how this works. And those of us who love to be long, we need those people around.
And someone like me that in his younger days was trying to short these type of moves has matured and stopped.
Yep.
Like we've gone up 11% in 2 hours. It's got to pull back a little bit. No, it doesn't.
What's our limit? 13?
Is there, see, this is
We can't hit it. We
debates
can't hit
going
it
on
now
in
anyway.
different discords and things that I'm in. And there's no limit. Is there a limit up at any point now and during RTH?
Okay, I don't know. I've never been approached with these issues. So
Leo just said there is not one during RTH, just the after.
Okay. So just down, no up. Okay. That makes sense. It's a very pro-America policy to have.
Yeah, as I said, we don't turn off a booming economy and a booming stock market, apparently. Just blow out the bears.
That's right.
What are you, communists, though? Stocks only go up. Oh, man. What a day. NQ casually up 11%. 2,000. Are we going to hit 2,000 points?
We only need 90 more.
And the Trump presser, I guess, has concluded. So who knows what's going to happen.
Okay. This is also the weekly pivot right here at 170. which is a Job thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
we still have this
Got a little
gap,
more to go.
171 to 317.
ES really lagging on the Nasdaq today. Only up 8 3/4.
Everybody's probably rotating back out of the Dow.
I mean,
Everyone,
you got Tesla up 20%, Apple's up 14, Amazon's up 10, Nvidia's up 17, like wild. So yes, the rotation was clearly back into tech out of flights to safety.
so the top 5 richest people in the world had like a 500 billion P&L swing in this week.
In this week, like the last like 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy to think I was long a few MES on the initial balance low,
Yeah.
which basically is like the low of the day.
I mean, we joke, but you probably could have handed those down to your kid. Those could have been the generational contracts. Roll them forever.
I have a hard time believing this tariff war cycle is done, but maybe this is finally the relief for at least a couple weeks
Yes. Norseman
until we
420
kick the
win.
can down again, and then he walks back, but then we're back to more tariffs again for countries that don't want to negotiate.
I think I've had the opportunity to trade 3 different 420s today, Norseman. That's how ridiculous this is.
Oh my God, you really did.
Yeah. I mean, I was fighting with 17 420, I think, earlier. I don't know. Again, I'm not used to my chart needing to be this big.
Yes, did just have a looks like a little bit of absorption at that high.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, but the book's so thin, like a 1500 positive delta up there kind of stands out.
This is going to be a volatile turn, I'm sure. At 330. I mean, each of them have been for days, so I don't imagine this one's going to be any different.
Yeah, I would imagine M period is going to be a little spicy.
Is that 120? 12? I'm like, I could get in here if it comes down to 112 and I see a reaction down here, but then I look at the price. I'm like, that's 80 points. I did make a new I will try to get an M&Q trade on today at some point. I did make a new bracket called Double Everything, where I made everything twice as big. Maybe that's enough. I don't know if 30-point stop is enough. But yeah, we'll see if we can get. I'll bang one in if I can get it down here. This 112, and we get a reaction. So I've got an anchored VWAP down here, and I like to do this on, big moves, things that seem mechanical like this, just to see if they're going to stay. And right now, it's staying inside the its own standard deviation band. So the same stuff that I do on the whole day time frame, I also have started to look at it on smaller time frame as well, just in those rotations, which I would normally call micro rotation, but this one has been 500 points or so. Yeah, it would depend on my entry precision. I don't know how precise I'm going to be on this day, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try our best. And we're not gonna force anything, but only if we duck back down and pop back out of there, we'll see if we can scalp one.
God, my chart is so scrunched.
Here comes the turn in 7 seconds.
400 lot on ES just got eaten real quick. And back up.
Yep. Wow.
Come on.
Nick, I have to run and grab my kid from the bus stop real fast in a minute. So I'm gonna pass you the torch. You can continue to narrate the world's most insane trend up day, and I will be right back.
750 points worth of singles is a trend update that I've never seen before.
Oh man,
Does the M period high of the day stat count if it's in the first minute?
I think so. I think so. It counted
There it
yesterday,
is.
but there it is. Man, it's a good stat.
I mean, you had a little pullback. You could have gotten long for 30 plus points on ES. God knows how many on NQ.
Oh my gosh.
150.
All right, we'll stick with my makeshift chart here, I suppose. But yeah, I'll be right back, folks.
Hey, Jim.
Nick,
What a wild power hour.
wild power hour. I mean, it's amazing to me. Oh, we got my charts up. Oh, this is all right. So I'm attempting. I'm learning from you guys. I'm attempting to kind of catch up with you guys. I don't have all your tools up here yet, but I do have I have a volume chart, but I set it for 1,000. I can't remember what level you guys were setting yours at.
Anywhere between 300 to 500, 750. Just kind of depends on the time frame you like to execute on. So I think a lot of us use that like 300 to 500 area, which is going to be similar to that like 1 minute execution chart, which to some people is probably crazy, but
Yeah,
on NQ, especially in like this environment, I mean, that's kind of how you have to be somewhat in and out of trades, it seems like, unless your time frame is a lot longer. But the way we trade can be you're in and out in a few minutes at times.
totally makes sense. I have to get your tools on my screen. I anchored the VWAP to the regular trading hour session. Is that what you guys do?
So it depends. I know some of us will probably do that, like an RTH one off, like right off the opening bell. And then some of the leg to leg profile will basically from that like swing high, swing low in whatever that time frame is, we'll spit out another one. And then other times I have one that I actively will move, like re-anchor myself based on like from here. I mean, I probably would have had it at that old high of the day that probably just got pushed through. So now I may be anchoring it on like that 18,700 area to see if we kind of break that mini trend that we're currently on down towards, yeah, I guess it was like 720s when we made this move back up. So I tend to have one that I kind of will adjust from different points throughout the session too.
I got it. And then, I mean, that makes sense, especially because the bands are, I have 3 standard deviations up. I mean, it's because the range was so big, the move was so humongous, it skews everything out. You know, it spreads everything out.
I know. When I look at like my delta by price right now, like I have to really open it back up because of how much some of these have been squished basically just to fit the dang move on the screen.
Yeah, I know. It's off my monitor. It's onto my wall now. Oops, the order book here. Let me just kind of show it real fast. This is just the Superdome. This is how crazy this is. I have it auto-centered, so it's going to stick in the middle.
Yeah,
But
it's still a 2 to 3 point spread on NQ right now.
yeah. Yeah, the trading ladder, you can't even see what the spread is.
Yeah, this reminds me of like Monday when I threw on one MNQ when we were coming on the show, and like I didn't adjust my brackets, and the second I
Yeah.
pushed like buy, I was already stopped out just because of just the way it's moving 10, 15 points in a millisecond here.
Yeah, no, I know it's crazy. You know, the order books. I mean, an order does not survive 10 or 20 ticks deep in the micro Nasdaq for very
No,
long.
not in this, not in this market environment, man. It's just absolutely wild. Let's see. Are we going to close 2,000 points up on NQ today? We are 20 points away. I think we can say the March low is probably not going to survive, but we'll see. We've seen crazier things happen in this session.
Ooh, I'm gonna say no doubt about it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. If that was a poll question, I would say yes.
I would too. I think the original poll question I was gunning for was the March low at 19,900 and whatever. Could we close above or below it? But I mean, we're 250 points above right now. So
It's crazy. I mean, this is really, it just illustrates what a news sensitive, all, not just this market, all the markets, how sensitive it is to this whole new trade partner. I'll call it a trade partner policy. That'll be nice.
yeah, did we get any other headlines out of that? Looks like no. Ended his remarks about 20 minutes ago.
I think he dropped the mic. Like, there you go. There you go, stock indexes. Have
He said,
fun.
oh, he did also say, I will take a look at exempting some US companies as time goes by. So that screams Apple, Nvidia, others that probably would get some sort of favoritism, I would imagine, given the impact.
Yeah.
If those some of those other tariffs on other nations actually do hold true, if there's no deal that can be reached.
Yeah. I mean, you had Microsoft pausing some major investments in data centers in the US. There's
Mhm.
one outside of Columbus, Ohio, they paused. It was $1 billion investment.
Yeah, that makes sense, and you really does probably have to favor some of those Mag 7 names, just because I mean, you think of 2020 with the chip shortage and how many random products, consumer products that affected. So God knows you can't have every single one of those things suddenly doubling in price overnight without a major impact.
Yeah. I mean, the supply chain's going to, how do you even, what's going to be a reliable delivery and how much is it going to cost and when is it going to get here? All
It's
those
just a
questions are
lot
just,
unknown.
yeah. So maybe some of this investment will be back on the table if we get some exemptions. Here we
Man,
go. We're
those
starting to sell off a little bit now.
just crazy to see some of those names up 20%.
Oh, I have a 2000 volume chart. Sorry.
Hey, Jim, let's see. Looking at your volume profile there, let's see what happens when we come back into that LVN. Um, I can't exactly see what price that's sitting at.
Yeah. Shares here.
Yeah, I guess that was around 140s, 150s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the low wick here was 117.
Yeah.
Driving right back
Okay.
up to that band.
Yeah, bounced right off that LVN.
Crazy, right? Isn't it?
That's why I love volume profile. It can be something as simple as that. Like you don't have a bunch of indicators on your chart. You just have today's structure. And it can be that simple. And there's a 100-point trade on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, these little I used to call these volume deficits. There's a volume deficit here. Nobody wanted to do a deal at that price.
Yeah, literally a perfect bounce off that.
Yeah. Crazy.
See if we got in the high of the day again. I know we hit that stat immediately coming into M period within about a minute. So let's see if they continue to drive this higher.
Yeah, we're right at my VWAP band there. It's digging that.
Yes, has 1,000 lot at 54. It's 54.79s. Excuse me. But they've been eating up some of these big orders like real quick with how thin the order book actually has been all day.
All right. Yep. It looks like Stowe is back. I'm going to hand the ball back to you guys and pay attention.
I
Hey,
missed
Stowe,
it. I missed it.
you missed the long off that LVN.
Classic. That was a good spot.
I mean, I just was since my charts will load, I'm looking at Jim's and I'm like, hey, that looks decent if we're gonna get a continuation move higher to make a new high of the day. And that like played out to the tick.
That's funny. That's what happens. NQ knows when I go to the bus stop too. It knows all kinds of stuff. It's very weird.
Knows your levels.
It's a spooky market. Let's see. We're gonna stay back at. We can stay in this +1. Some absorption at 12.
So I noticed you use the VWAP bands. Is that something you actively trade off of? I've never expanded this to the standard deviations of them and actually taken trades in theory. I don't even have them on the charts anymore when I've used them in the past. Like, how active are you taking trades, or is it just a way for you to kind of guide continue momentum in that case if we were to bounce off one of the extensions like that?
It's not. I don't use them as levels. Like I would like there to be something up there, as far as either order flow goes or some sort of level. If it's MGI, if it's auction market theory stuff, there's got to be something else there. At least one other component or it's of something. But yeah, they absolutely are a guide, and I use them every day. I think all of my rules are based around them.
I have to play around with them a little more. I've seen some of your charts if you've been on here with it, and I kind of just like it as just a gauge of trend the same way, obviously, that an anchored VWAP can work, but kind of extending them a little bit. I've liked it recently with the higher volatility at the very least.
I'm always looking for ways to keep myself in check, and that's really what they do. See if we can see some initiation here. Get back up there. Above 200. If it's going to sell. So that's single print held there from 120 to 115. Also, what I do on these pullbacks, these aren't set like this. This is set to 1 and 2 standard deviations, but I like to use 0.5 and 1 as my guides on the smaller time frame ones.
A 1,000 lot's still sitting there on ES.
Where's it at?
79s.
79s.
They've run through a few like 400s. There was like a 600, some 150s that have popped in like just randomly, but so far they're kind of moving away from this since it came on the book.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see what this push is going to be. I'm going to try to buy this weak pivot at 171 here. I got in at 76. Again, I'm using stops that are insanely wide. So I think we hit our first 30 there. And this next one I'm going to take this at 30 also if I can. $76 would be 06. We'll try to get up there. If not, we'll get stopped down under that wick. That's fine. But this is retesting some of these peaks here.
They're pulling some of the offers on ES. Let's see. God.
It's trying to hold that pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Scoot this. Stop. Up right under this wick here. Now that we can manage that. Yeah, not a bad spot. Feels pukey though. Yep, there it goes. Bang back in at 50.
Trying again.
Maybe.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
so late.
You're getting back in at 50. Yeah, this looks like it might be losing that spot a little bit. Let's see.
Kind of a rough fill on that.
I feel you. That's how this day's kind of been.
Yeah. But somebody's climbing the ladder with it now. So we'll see. We'll see if we get that ramp.
2 minutes till almost C. EDS to pop 76s.
Is that 1,000 lot still chilling?
Still there. And 79s. See if someone wants to. Oh, he just pulled it. What a jerk.
Nice. I love it. That's what I like.
Well, now it's going to run through. What a jerk.
Okay. So we got these. We'll just watch the fireworks. Sorry for this text, folks. This is all just default settings. I can't believe that's a 50-point trade.
Woohoo!
No. No, this is not a woohoo. Let's not celebrate that. It's ridiculous.
It's just the way this is, man.
Oh, so funny. Yeah, but if we get some
move 20 points in like 30 seconds there.
So 79 guys gone.
He's gone.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
You love to see it.
It popped 5 points the second that guy pulled it.
Yep. I don't know what that is. It's just like those baity orders, you know. You see them in Q2, especially recently. Like 1,000 lot guy and Q1,000 lot guy's been pretty crazy.
That guy seems to be like either in before news or a move more than you think he is. Like he just kind of shows up and the market tends to go in the direction of whatever side that individual seems to be on.
Yeah, right.
Yes, you don't see that as much.
All right, so these are again, these are micros. We have paid for this trade, and we have paid for the stop we took on the other trade. So we are we are going to experiment with the mock algo in 12 seconds and see what happens. Continue to make a
See if
new
you get that
high.
first fill, the new high of the day. 30 seconds.
Yeah, this 87. Yep.
And filled.
And that fills the gap.
They're really going to run this to 5,500, aren't they?
I can't believe they filled the gap. Ah.
So that exhaustion is casually worth like 600 points. And like talk about like a very painless, like usual order flow trade that we make day in and day out, like no hesitation, like
dude, or it still works. All the order flow crap, it still works in crazy environments. You just have to be much more patient. And I think that's when that's what gets people mixed up.
Yeah, it's like you kind of need to wait for that like extra little confirmation before it's like, oh, exhaustion printed, I'm long.
I'm still in. I still have one runner.
Where's your take profit up there?
What did I set it to? 200, 250 points? Something? 300 points? Like I said, I just doubled everything. So I did a very quick new bracket.
It's crazy that that's not that outlandish. we got the April Open coming up here at 420-ish. Quarterly Open.
Yeah, sometimes you got to buy high and sell higher. It's just a thing. It's uncomfortable to do, but if the vibe is there and you can figure out how to take a shot at it without blowing out your risk, might as well.
That's why you trade off vibes.
Yep.
We said it. The vibe since the news came out was find a place to get long.
Yeah. Aside from my bus stop trade, which was right there, it gave us a close to this similar entry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not bad. I'll work on my chart book for tomorrow, and see if there's anything we can do to make it. Hold on, 410. Okay, 410 is the month open. That's what we're going for. That's our target. Month open, 410.
It does coincide with ES being at the March lows too, up towards 5530s. They're both sitting right around the same area.
Nick, I can't believe we found a trade.
I mean, that would be a trade that I think most people probably would never take, but that's the type of trade I'm trying to get way better at, instead of thinking, no, it's gone so much, like I'm just going to stay away, versus like, no, there's a good setup right there for the breakout move higher.
Yep. No, riding a trend, riding continuation is something that I've really been working on this year. My friends have helped me with that. AJ has helped me with that so much. Leo's helped me with that so much. Yeah. And it's a weird trade because you want to short this because it's gone up what?
12%.
Yeah, 12%.
I remember the day that I kind of grew up with that was October 22 CPI. Not CPI. It was the November CPI of that year of 2022.
Ooh, yes.
And I think NQ was up like 5%. And I was trying to short it with things that made sense, MGI that made sense, but we were up 4%, but I'm fitting the trend. And clearly the data had changed, that inflation was, I know we're still having this conversation 3 years later, but defeated.
Yeah. It was defeated for now.
It was transitory all along. Just took 5 years of it.
That's so funny.
But from that day on, I kind of really have been better about not fading these type of moves, instead looking for a pullback, even if it's a slight one, to join along with the trend.
Yep. Did I miss anything cool from the chat? Did everybody have a good day? Sorry, I had to bail for a second. Said it one day. Man, I can't wait to see what tomorrow's going to be.
I've lived 7 lifetimes this week.
What is Globex going to be? All right, here comes another algo of 55.
Let's see, do any longs take profit in this high risk environment that we are currently trading in? Does
Holy
anyone
moly.
start liquidating
That was a sweep.
positions from today and saying, you know what, I made 20% back on this pullback. I'm gonna just lighten up a little bit.
Ooh.
Doesn't look like it. No, they're still up. Nvidia's back above 114s. Looking like genius if you bought it at 94 yesterday.
Right. You don't know it's a fire sale until after the fire is over, unfortunately. There's no way to know. $2,000% tariffs on China, please. I really wouldn't root for that.
That might be very bad for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, for humanity, for society, for the sake of all things that aren't candlesticks, I wouldn't root for that.
All right, we're getting a little pullback here, back under 300s.
Yep. We're gonna check this guy right here. See if we get a reaction. 268.
Now this may be your covering, and now we may fall back towards that 200, 150 area.
Yep. Yes, straight down.
Casual 40 points on ES, 170 on NQ. Just like that.
It's fun, man. It's fun. Oh, the market does cool stuff. You can't help but laugh and just be. I personally, I just can't help but be amazed and at just the insanity.
That's crazy. I had a good day, and it's still just like how much we moved after I was like, you know what, I'm done. I've had a good day for me, and that, and then you're just kind of like, I'm good. I don't need to trade anymore. And then we moved another 12, basically another 12% to the upside.
I mean, yeah. This is another thing I have to work on all the time with my mental stuff is like you can't start thinking about that, or I can't start thinking about that, or it'll really mess with my expectations,
Exactly.
It's important to keep the amount of money I know I need, the amount of risk I'm able to put on, what is able to make my life happy, which isn't very much. And when I stopped trying to shoot for the moon is when my trading really got more in the pocket, and I'm able to like just execute instead of thinking about. It's kind of like trading your P&L, but the pressure of having to pay your mortgage with trading is something that is not super fun.
It's not. It's definitely not. And I live in that life. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The last couple days, kind of sitting out the last few days and seeing things, like still watching, seeing things develop. If you are patient and the opportunities that were there, that was kind of how I executed today. Was just sitting by, waiting, throwing a few micros on, and just letting the trade play out the same way you would if we weren't moving in 200-point 1 minute candles on NQ about 15 times in a day.
That's so awesome, man. That's so awesome. Yeah, there's always something. There's so much to learn from this market because you don't just get to practice this. You don't just get to watch this this kind of market in real time. So, you learn stuff about how it works. You learn about how it moves, and then you also learn about yourself in the process too.
100%.
Great job, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Man, that took some courage, but you did it.
Hell of a trade.
We'll see. I'm waiting for the post 4 o'clock ramp. We'll see if what happens with this. If it's gonna cover or not. I'm gonna hold for a little bit. Sometimes since I've got the distance there. Sometimes the settlement will float.
I think you're in a good spot.
Yeah. Well, we'll hang tight with you for a minute or so. We'll see what happens. Unless you have daddy duties. That trumps everything. No pun intended.
No, she's good. She's chilling. She's got her snack plate, yogurt, Mario Kart, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. My
This
guess
is
is
what
we're
I
gonna
want
have
to
a
see.
little, yeah, some price action now. Let's keep it rolling.
This is the value area low from the previous month right here at 330.
Look at that.
So we can
Everybody in the
pop that
chat, put
high.
your rally cap on right now. Time for a rally cap.
Pop the high. Oh my God, the book's so thin still.
Yeah, yeah. It's so thin. There's literally nobody home. But I mean, there's some big lots coming in though. I'm seeing hundreds getting filled on the offer.
So all the shorts are getting their margin calls from their brokers right now.
I mean, just crazy, crazy day.
Yep. Love it. Love the game. So cool.
Like, just imagine if you were kind of reloading a swing short yesterday and then this move happens. Like, not only are you stopped, but the vol crush on top of it, if
Oh
you're doing it
yeah.
with options or even if you were trying to sell like an iron condor with how kind of the range was today, like, oh my goodness.
That's how we'll know that that we're back to normal is when the passive income option seller this stuff pops up again. Because I know those people have been
Exactly.
getting smoked.
Yeah. Plus we have Leo talking about trading ES. So the vol crush is in. We're going to see a thick order book again. ES is barely going to move. No, I think volatility is here to stay at least for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Maybe forever. If VIX 30 is the new normal, I might really need to keep this new stop loss.
It kind of seems like VIX 15 is the new normal at the very least, or was for most of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have a new sheriff in town, so we're gonna have some higher VIX.
There's so much. Yeah, I mean, there's some big orders getting filled right now.
Yeah, there's
Like that
130 on the
drop
offer.
130. Yeah. I'm seeing that they stack it down, and then they're also stacking it up too.
Yeah, last time we saw this was October 28th, 2008.
Okay.
We had a 10.8% move up in the S&P, but the S&P was traded at 1,000 then.
Wow.
So it's yeah. And then the next day was the FOMC announcement. They cut 50 basis Bernanke cut 50 basis points, and then we lost about 1.1% the next day.
That's insane. Well, I don't think we're getting that. We got close. What did we get? We got 30 points off the monthly open.
Yeah.
I'd say that was some progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, great job for sure. So what's your exit strategy now, Stowe? Let's end it with that.
Oh, I'm just gonna sit here until 4:15 or so and let this. I'm still gonna let it come down and get me if it wants. As long as we're above the previous day close, which is 270-ish. Yeah, I'll just sit in this micro and let it do what it's doing.
All right. Very awesome, guys. Well, again, thanks. That was super. That was awesome job today, as usual. Looking forward to see you guys again.
Yeah, I'll
Have
see
a
you
great
tomorrow,
evening.
man.
All right. We're going to do a really super quick wrap up since we went into overtime. I already told you about the stats on the stock index futures from yesteryear. This is what I just want to point out. One last thing is the daily chart, and just going to use the E-mini S&P as an example. But we have nothing but systematic price behavior. With that old kind of low, this old kind of low on the 13th, drag that area of support over. I'm so yeah, and now it's area, now it's resistance. We're trading right at it. It's a 50% retracement from high to low, and you guys witnessed a historic day. A lot of green on the board. Currency's still a little mixed. Energies caught a little bit. A lot of green there. Metals are all green. We talked about this morning. We're shy. Treasuries are all red still, so still kind of struggling there. And the grains are all over, mostly green though. Surprised to see the grains mostly green today as well, with the soybeans up almost 2%. So having said all that, folks, tomorrow 8 a.m. East Coast time, another all-star lineup is going to be with us again tomorrow. Today was awesome with all the folks contributing. I learned a lot today myself. Appreciate everybody being here. I do want to remind everybody, most important message of the day as usual. Please be good, be safe out there and be good to each other. See you tomorrow.